Imagine a region where our communities unite around a common vision, having more say in what they do with their own money and the power to decide their community's future. Imagine the social benefits of a more inclusive region where all people had access to meaningful employment and training.
We live in a time when we need social change to happen very quickly because, we need to adapt a lot better the way we're living as human beings. So it's really inspiring to see people that are bringing projects into fruition.
Primarily, most of our workers are recovering from a mental illness, so we're wanting to create more opportunities for that sort of type of client that we have.
We as Aboriginal people have been into social enterprises for a long time. It's good that the rest of Australia is starting to catch up with us.
I'm here to really mix and to also find out what's going on really in this local area.
I think that social enterprise is the answer to a lot of the questions in and around Indigenous employment. I believe that there is a lot of creative energy on the communities, and I think given the right structure and the right information, that the communities could actually start social enterprises that benefited themselves and their families and generations to come.
The Indigenous employment and training projects are really important, and just that approach where it's business rather than a not-for-profit approach. So it's more that there's got to be commercial outcomes, it has to stack up as a business, and the training outcome and that social dividend is there, but not really the focus, because without that enterprise side of it, the social side is impossible.
What I'm hoping to learn today is ways to empower the community to take up these opportunities that we have.
The Byron Community Centre, the place we are now, it is run as a social enterprise. It does great things, it has programs for people who are vulnerable, homeless, and it does it based on the businesses that it runs for a social purpose. So that's great. We know now that really is the way of the future. It's a way of actually working with communities to develop their own solutions and to develop cash flows so that they can live independently and sustainably.
It's just the enthusiasm that they all show and how passionate they are about, social change and creating, viable social enterprises. I think it's really, just the passion. It's really uplifting and makes you want to go back and, work a bit harder and try a few innovative things.
Initially I was thinking about the project as being based on some sort of volunteering sort of social movement orientation, and then I realised in order to be sustainable and actually to generate change it needs to be financially sustainable, and so then I started thinking about social enterprise models, and I didn't know a lot about them, so I came along just to find out more.
I think I've gained a toolbox and of contacts that I will be definitely getting in touch with. Some of the young speakers that spoke about the social enterprise training that's available, I just think that that's very inspiring, and I would definitely be in touch with them to garner some of their experience in the work that I do.
While social enterprise is not new, and we heard that there's a grand tradition, for example, in cooperatives, which really opened up the North Coast in particular, there's a renewed and rapid growth in interest around that, which is really exciting. Mindsets are changing. And largely that's because, as a number of people have said, the old ways of doing things haven't worked. The post-war welfare state that grew up in the last half of last century hasn't actually delivered everything we thought it would. There's still unmet social need, and now the government's run out of money. That's a challenge, but it's actually exciting to have that challenge, because I think perhaps the NFP sector, government and business have been a bit complacent, and let's think about another way to work.
The diversity of speakers has just been phenomenal, and each one I've been going, and writing it down, and I've got to take it home and work out how to integrate all these amazing ideas.
I particularly came as well because of the executive from NAB, National Australia Bank, and that interest, because I'm a broker, a finance provider as well, and I like to see the interface of the big four banks kind of innovating and kind of changing their market product and structure to suit what's really going on in the world.
I wanted wanted to network with other like-minded people, and just to hear what's happening in regional Australia too, because at the moment, for me, social enterprise is kind of really focused, the work I've been doing, focused on in Brisbane, and we really want to kind of expand into the regions as part of the Social Enterprise Council.
The rate of change is so quick these days that without events like this, you can miss a lot of the new things that are happening and new ideas that are emerging and really emerging really quickly and then going into action much more quickly. So the barriers to getting those things off the ground are much lower than they were before. So symposiums like this allow you to get access to a whole range of different ideas which you could action quite quickly in local communities.
It's really important to get people to come together, share their ideas, share their information, and generate new ideas, inspire each other, learn from each other to actually create a better world, because that's what we're here